2. Let's go into what we can say the second last match of today. The winner of this match will face Combox C, waiting patiently in the first and second placing. So let's see which team can actually go up against Combox C. Will it be Resurgence or Meowpork here?
Alright, so Dragon SHIRE, a battleground that basically involves a lot of good rotation, tight teamwork, probably a solo laner on top, and a 4-man rotation. That's a very common strategy. We've seen that before. Here, this map is decided by Meowpork, so they have already made that decision to play this here. And you see the instant ban on Gul'dan. It happened earlier in the series, and right now, though, it looks just like the fact that they don't want to give that Gul'dan to Meowpork again.
That's right. Meowpork played very powerful Gul'dan, especially when coupled with strong supports like Oriole and Morales. So we've seen them play that. They played really well and just instantly take off the Gul'dan. Now the question here is, we actually see a lot of Tessera bans, second bans. I mentioned this. Everyone has seen this. But the question is, they did hover around Tessera just a small moment. And now they're actually changing to heroes like ETC and Muradin. So, but still hovering around Tigers, Vala.
A couple of options. I like the way how Meowpork drafted in the second game where they took out that Falstad and Zeratul. It sounded logical. It sounded really logical there, except for the fact that they were too obsessed with the Gul'dan pick. But now it's been addressed, and it looks like it may potentially be a Vala ban.
Well, Vala ban will open the option on the side of Resurgence to actually pick up the Tessera. They basically play a good Tessera on the side of Resurgence. So let's see if they will take the bait, take the Tessera, and leave Meowpork to choose another hero that might counter Tessera.
It's interesting because we saw Resurgence against Combox SEA, and they did not go for that Tessadar when it's open. So this is, again, another affirmation here that there is a bit of a balance on this hero. Forsaken Shield may not be worth it. Resurgence with the first pick, they probably want to secure the Falstad. I think it's the favorite hero for this map. There's a lot of mobility, solo laning as well. The Haka's the other option. You want to pick up one of two globals for a start. I think it's okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of options to go for, and for the first pick, you definitely would want to go for picks that there isn't a lot of counter to. Very neutral picks. You don't want to show off, and they do go for the Tessadar.
All right, so they're going to try things out a little bit and play the Tessadar. I like that. Meowpork here, because they're second pick, right? They only get 2 picks. So if they don't go for a global, the second is probably going to get banned. Now, it's more inclined to believe that they'll go for the Dahaka, and they follow up with a very nice Grey main, so that's okay. Zesam plays Dahaka, and we've seen him play this hero a couple of times this weekend.
A lot of times, actually.
Pretty solid Dahaka.
That's right. So Dahaka, of course, landing the global lane presence, as Bebo mentioned just now. You would want to control the shrines. This is basically a bit different as compared to maps like Sky Temple. There is always 2 points that you have to go for. Without the 2 points, you won't be able to control the objective.
Okay, we're going to see that Muradin and Sonya getting picked up. Some very strong frontliners with a Tessadar as a sort of... Tessadar kind of acts like a secondary DPS nowadays. It's not really like a support even because the shield's like so low. And you just turn into Archon mode. You slow, you do some damage, but it's not impactful. Here, it's just like the same thing. Tesla is going to empower Sonya quite a fair bit, so I like that synergy there. But you see that instant hover over Lucio. They don't want to deal with a massive AoE shield, which Tessadar cannot provide.
That's right. I mean, the sound barrier will be able to basically protect the entire team from any of the burst damage. So if they were to go for any majors on the side of Meowpork, basically it's going to be nullified by the sound barrier if Resurgence uses it. They're still hovering over it. They're thinking, what is the important ban here? So Lucio, of course, a really good ban. They have to make sure that Sonya doesn't go into deal work, especially given that they have the Tesla shield. So of course, they go for the Lucio ban as hovered.
They probably know that when they ban out Lucio, if Resurgence bans Malfurion here, Meowpork's probably left with just one medic, which I think is comfortable playing. But the thing is, we saw him on Oriole just now. It was one of the weaker heroes for Meowpork, the player for the support player for Team Meowpork. Man, that must have confused you guys for a fair bit.
There is a player Meowpork in the team Meowpork.
Yeah.
And he's a support player.
He's the boss.
That's right.
So here, potential Malfurion ban, I think it's okay. The other alternative here would just to be ban out another tank like an Arthas. Yeah, Arthas would be a good ban as well. But
That's right.
knowing Resurgence, they'll probably be comfortable dealing with Arthas. It's just whether they want to deal with that Morales or they just want to worry about the Malfurion, of which both they have certain answers in the last 2 pick there.
That's right. Arthas and Malfurion are
Completely
reasonable
whiff.
picks, but wow.
It's
they
going
go
to be
for
a
the
Tychus. All right, this Tychus has been banned before because Pizza Xiao, he plays Tychus on Meowpork, and we've seen Meowpork prioritize the Tychus very early on in the draft just because they know it's going to get banned. So it is exactly the same bans as the first series between both of these teams earlier today in the semifinals of the upper bracket, but the draft here is very different. So regardless what it is, 2 picks here from Meowpork. They may not even need to decide on the support here.
That's right. I mean, as you mentioned just now, Pizza Xiao, he plays range DPS really, really well, sort of a main Tigers and Li Ming main. So by taking out the Tigers, it is sort of limiting sort of what he's really powerful on. He can still go for the Li Ming here, seeing that they don't have anyone that can take ability damage very well. Muradin still a very powerful soak in the front line, can take it well. But let's see what do you go for. 5 seconds left on the clock here.
Oh man, I would pick a support here. Yep, Comfort, Malfurion, and Arthas. We predicted both of that. I'll pick a support because you might want to flex the last roll there against Resurgence. So it's gonna be the Arthas, fantastic frontline tank, and Malfurion. There will be a comfort pick for Meowpork.
That's right. Okay, so a lot of flexibility coming on the side of Resurgence, and of course Resurgence, basically a team that can play almost anything. 1.5 years of playing this game, so a lot of heroes at their disposal here. Tassadar definitely will be supporting Sonya. Question is, will you want to have someone else that Tassadar will? If not, which support are they going for at this time?
I think the biggest question here is who is going to solo the lane for Resurgence. At the moment, it looks like it's Sonya, which would naturally be able to beat the Haka. They still have a Falstad possibility here, which they may be exploring. Now, if they pick Falstad, Sonya is going to do a lot of work in clearing the lanes. With Muradin, it's just a really strong frontline team. But the biggest question I have on my mind is who is the range damage dealer, and it's going to be a Zul'jin Rehgar. All right.
Zul'jin.
They're just busting a new technology every day.
That's right. I think we haven't seen a Zul'jin at all in this Brawl, mid-season Brawl.
We have not. We have not seen a single Zul'jin. This is the first one. It's got good synergy with Tassadar. Meowpork, they already have the Malfurion. Do they want to go into a Lily? I don't know.
Lily.
It's a possible option for blind against Zul'jin. Apart from that, they still have the other alternative here, which would be to go for another damage dealer. Don't think that they want to play the front line as much. I just feel that they may want to go for an... I don't know. It just feels like they should be playing a bit of a damage dealer in the background there. Falstat's good, but it's a little bit greedy because you have two global there. All right, the standard Li Ming. Okay, so very standard Li Ming.
Li Ming going to Pizza Xiao.
It's a mage. All right, it's a mage, and Pizza Xiao, like you said, that he plays this hero a lot. He's gonna be very comfortable. The lineup here looks like the Haka is gonna be the one in the off lane, and on the side for RSG, it will be that Sonya. The Haka versus Sonya. Sonya is more inclined to win the lane more often than not. And if you think about the 4-man rotations right off the bat, you can tell that Zul'jin's looking for those stacks and right-click, and they have an Arthas on that side. So I think it's going to be pretty even.
It's going to be pretty even. I would say that I'm a bit biased towards Meowpork's draft. I think it is a very good counter towards basically all the AA damage coming out on the side of Resurgence. I mean, you have Arthas basically controlling the frontliners. You basically keep Muradin and Sonya in check as an Arthas. As a Li Ming, you can burst down anyone who's not being shielded. But of course, it comes down all to execution. Just my personal bias.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, going into game number 1 of the lower bracket finals, we do have with us here Resurgence and Meowpork. And on the red team, it's Meowpork, Zezen, your Dahaka. Meowpork, the player, will be Malfurion, the Kurza, playing the Arthas. Pizza Xiao on the Li Ming, Xcarrick will be the Grey Main.
And of course, on the blue team, we have Resurgence right now, Julian on the Rehgar right now, Zappy on the Zul'jin, and CW on the Muradin, Capricorn on the Tassadar, and Yu Yang on the Sonya.
All right, so game number 1 of a best of 3. This game is going to decide. Winner moves on, and the loser will go home with just $2,000 US. Lots of money on the line here.
It's a lot. I mean, we're looking at $7,000, so definitely not something that you want to trifle with here.
All right, so Zesan, he did the brush stalker thing a little bit too early on, took a lot of damage. We didn't catch that on the camera, but that's fine. CW takes a bit of a beating from the magic missiles, but you can see the laning's already being split.
That's right. So you want to maximize the EXP advantage as fast as you can. Meowpork has the advantage in the global, and basically you keep the Dahaka on the top lane to soak as much as possible. Sonya will be facing Dahaka in the top lane, will be a very good, something to a very good face. But here we go, CW going straight for Dakaza right now. The others going in, but not quite enough damage to take him down.
All right. So we have, I would assume it is going to be Zappy on that Sonya. Looks to be the case. Hold on, let's see. Oh no, Zappy Zul'jin, that's Yu Yang. All right, that's fine. That's a bit of an interesting role to take there. And it looks like the laning strategy so far slightly favors Resurgence. They have a better wave clear compared to Meowpork.
Right?
CW, man, taking a little bit too much of a damage there.
But nonetheless, he's still Muradin. He can shrug it off like it's nothing. Shrines has been activated on both the top and the bottom lane as well. And here he comes. They'll be contesting on the bottom lane. Sonya against the Haka on the top lane. Right now, the top lane belongs... Oh, wow, both of the shrines have now belonged to Resurgence right now. Anyone in the middle there, we still have a contest between Muradin and Arthas. Okay,
the key thing here is that you normally just want to focus a little bit more on the bottom lane because by default, Sonya should win against, the Haka. Yeah. It's just so confusing because there's a play called Dakaza. And then there's a Dahaka, right? So
the easiest thing is if Dakaza plays Dahaka.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. I think he's playing the Arthas in his game. Princess Xiao now just wrestles control back here. You see a quick change of power in the bottom lane. So far, not a single arcane op has connected.
Oh, wow.
Not a single magic missile as well. But we're still waiting for the surprise factor coming in. Zest and oh man, the slam so
almost
good.
There.
Yeah, this is why Sonya almost always wins the top lane because she's got that whirlwind, and it just helps her a lot in sustaining. Right. CW takes a bit of a damage from Xcarrick, and okay, right clicks coming in from Zappy. Not gonna be enough though. Nearly.
That would be quite crazy as if Xcarrick was taken out, but nonetheless, both shrines still being contested by Resurgence. But Arthur's basically in the middle lane trying his best to zone out CW, doing a really good job as we can see. Doesn't quite hit the magic missile there, and Arcane Orb still controlling the middle lane there.
Right, and we saw a little bit of a B step coming out from CW.
Well, basically he can't do much in the middle lane. Just basically make sure that they finding an opportunity actually to capture the shrine.
It just feels like they're holding on to the bottom shrine as much as they can, but they are not able to get the channel up because they are not really killing anyone. And it's not going to be easy because you have a Zul'jin who is just a right-click damage dealer at this point. Does have the season marksman, so it's going to be a bit of a late game build here for the Zul'jin.
That's right, but here's the thing. If you are going to... but hold that thought right now. They're going for Xcarrick there, almost going down, but basically will be able to zone everyone away with the cocktails. Oh, but he will be taken down by Zappy. Really good plays, and this is going to open up the game right now. With him being down, they can actually go and contest against the shrine.
Yeah, they can. This is where they actually start to try and do it. I don't think it's easy to pick up the Arthas in the mid lane though, so whatever they can get, it's still valuable here. The way Meowpork's playing is not exactly having a split, but I thought Zappy doing a lot of work in the backline, and there we have the first Dragon Knight coming out already for Resurgence.
Definitely that pick off on the side of Resurgence was able to open up the lane control. They will be able to capture the Dragon Knight, but they're still not done. They're going in to the bottom lane right now. Meowpork has been taken out, but Zul'jin was taken down in a trade. Li-Ming actually goes down and is still going for the kill. Zesan is coming in as well, but he goes back. Doesn't quite want to go against those two Resurgence heroes. Yeah,
no point. It's a tank, it's a support. They're not going to die easy. Interesting to see Zappy there with that quick regenerate.
That's right.
That was interesting to see. But regardless of what, we had a pretty good bite there from Julian as well to pick up the kill quickly on the Li-Ming. Now that's it though. Top lane is a bit of a reshuffle now. We have Arthas at the top lane, and Dragon is still knocking in the bottom area.
I was literally waiting for that. I mean, the Haka definitely not able to hold his front against Sonya. You have to react to this kind of changes. They do exactly that. And let's see the laning phase continues. How will they perform?
All right, Zappy still really needs to stock up those charges on his right click. And it's not going to be easy for him.
Definitely. Basic update, 13 charges on the side of Zappy here. Definitely going for the late game. He wants to stock up as much as he can to deal as much damage. We'll be going for the siege cam on the side of Resurgence, going for the bottom siege.
Yep, and level 10 already hit here by RSG. It looks like it's a standard, well, just very standard strategy there from the whole team. Standard heroics, nothing too special. I'm not going to see any leap here in this game.
We do see a Wrath of the Berserker instead of the leap there. So probably to respond against the potential entangling route into Howling Blast or vice versa, you definitely wouldn't want to get caught into that, especially seeing that you are a frontline brawler. So good plays on the side of Resurgence.
It's interesting to see that it's going to be a false wall instead of an Archon.
Oh wow, it's a false wall.
Yeah, false wall. Haven't seen the like of that in a really long time. Would have had a little bit more synergy with Leap, I feel, but Sonya's main job here is just to spin, right? In the direction of Meowpork. You want to sustain, you want to just apply damage to the front and back line. Maybe even do a little bit of flanking if possible. CW, gonna be very careful here. The Root connects. 4 versus 1. Pull
We'll be
back.
able to capture the siege camp. And on the note of Sonya, interestingly enough, looks like she might be going for the AA build here. Not really taking Hurricane on the level 4. So basically relying on the cleanse on the side of Rhaegar here.
Yeah, well, I think that's okay because she still has got Rough, which kind of helps her when she's a little stuck in bad positions. And the top lane though, ZSN, buying time. A Yu Yang taking a lot of damage.
Doesn't quite. It's fine.
Arthas with the flank. Dikurza, top lane. Okay, gotta be fine.
All right.
Man, that was close. It was so lucky for Yu Yang that we have CW in the vicinity.
That's right. So now the shrines has been taken out, and this puts Resurgence in a very good spot actually. With one hero down on the side of Meowpork, they will be able to actually control the shrine. But here they go, the false wall won't be able to stop Xcarrick down right now.
Julian drops very low. The burst goes both ways. And all of a sudden Zappy is already dropping. And there we go, the Dastingo comes into play. It picks up the Leeming. Is that going to be a shield? Don't think so. CW dropping a lot of HP, decides to pull back out. Probably a wrong target shield there by Capricorn.
He was waiting for the shield.
Yeah,
he was waiting for it.
I think he shielded the Muradin instead. And so far, still okay, but we have a Sonya en route to the bottom area.
Oh,
Stun.
and just going in. Just going in, just spinning right there to the Gerza right now with the false wall there. He's just going straight in. He's going ham. Not quite. He just backs off just in time.
Would have been a lot better if it's the Archon in that instance, but it was a zero value false wall there from Capricorn. I feel that that fight was all right. It went a little bit both ways, but you always want to be very careful playing the Rhaegar. And Julian knows this. He's playing safer than before, but still, that kind of positioning, when it collapses on you, the burst is there from Leeming, you're in a lot of trouble. Do know Leeming, again, this is interesting. She went for Calamity and Disintegrate.
Wow, really interesting. So it's like a bit of a hybrid build, like sort of Calamity, sort of Disintegrate here. But nonetheless, Dragon Knight has been taken by Resurgence, going to be on a push in the middle lane. There's a potential to actually do a lot. And if you take down ZSN, that might... Oh wow, he actually goes for the Stormbolt there. ZSN, well, still will be able to go down. But nonetheless, high potential for a lot of damage here. They can potentially take this fort down on both the middle and the bottom lane.
Alright, you see the stuns coming out again, CW. The pull back out, Root has already been used, but Dragon Knight mid lane, guys, there's a really evil looking thing in your mid lane. You want to be addressing this instead.
That's right. Dragon Knight still going for the fort, and finally Meowpork rotates away from Zappy into the Dragon Knight. Will we go for the root? Here comes the Axe coming in to try to zone everyone away. 4 of Meowpork's heroes right now. He comes in for the charge, throws one of him in front of the Meowpork heroes away, goes for the fire, going for the retreating there. Covering fire. The question is, will Resurgence counter-attack? That will be really interesting.
It is somewhat a successful save. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. Both forts are still standing. They already lost the top one. So here CW again aggressively calling for that. Not even popping the avatar, just gonna die there.
That was unneeded though.
Yeah, rushing the fort like that. You gotta be very careful. Dragon SHIRE, small battleground, Teddy.
That's right. So it just goes to show how you wouldn't want to be caught out of position at any time possible. Unfortunately, Muradin had to pay the price there. But nonetheless, we can see Resurgence actually in a very, very favorable position. Just a little bit more on the EXP to this level 16 talent. Something that we actually didn't address. They are almost one talent tier advantage, Babel.
Yeah, two full levels, nearly 1.5 to be exact. And bottom lane again, we have that Tassadar. Is going to be able to just dimensional shift out of it.
It's playing really passively, but there's no... I feel at this point, Meowpork actually has to force the fight. If you keep dragging there, they're going to get to level 16, and it's going to be even harder to actually take them out.
Yeah, this is very greedy, and I think that the Dahaka might have already spot this out. You look at the rotation coming in quickly. Zappy gonna hold the front. Yu Yang wants to pick the fight.
Wow.
Twilight Dream complete with Tastingo already being used in the background there. Julian looking for the Ancestral, but it is just too slow. And the fight now turns 4 versus 5. Still not a mercenary can be won yet. CW not willing to let it go. And he goes down in the background. Julian also gone. Yu Yang, last member alive. And you see the Haka from the front. The Draco's in it. It's a 5-man team wipe.
Oh no, why did they go into that bruiser camp there? That was definitely a greedy play, and because of that, Resurgence actually paid the price. It was basically the total opposite of the previous game that we saw. Meowpork against Inquisition. Basically, Meowpork dominated by just being very conservative. There's no need to do anything risky if they are in the lead, and because of that, Resurgence is going to lose the Dragon Knight.
Yeah, well, I feel like there's a little bit of an anti-synergy between Zul'jin and the Rhaegar there. Normally, it would have been very easy to pull off. You pop that Stingo, within 1 or 2 seconds, you pop the Ancestral. He's going to come at full HP. Fantastic plan. However, that didn't work out. It lost the main damage dealer, and without that, it's just a solo Sonya. And they were still not willing to let go of those mercenary camps. It is just bad at that point.
So this is a bit of a life lesson here. There is sometimes a need to have a stop loss.
Sometimes you're just going to let it go.
Yeah, stop loss. But nonetheless, they're going straight. They will be able to separate Meowpork out from the entire gang. Will be able to take Malfurion out. They're just trying to go for the Howling Blast, trying to push them away now.
Beautiful false wall. Can he pull off a second one? Looking for yet another stun before he goes down. Dragon Knight top lane doing work. Yu Yang going ham on the tower. Dekurza still running away. The false wall again connects. It's a complete wall off. You shall not pass. And Dekurza now in a lot of trouble. Will probably go down here. Pits himself from the background, trying to burst down the target, but will not be able to do so. And Zes in the meantime on the Dragon Knight top lane.
Okay, I admit that the force wall plays were pretty on point so far. I'm not sure whether Archon would have been better, but so far force wall have been pretty good. They can secure a lot of kills on the side of Resurgence, but nonetheless, still the Dragon Knight on from Meowpork did a bit of work.
Yeah, did a lot of work actually. Took down I think 2 forts, mid and top. Not able to take the keep though. Even with even with that amount of minions, is just very hard to push in that kind of a duration. So that's it. 9 kills each side. Meowpork still has got a slight EXP lead here. This game a lot closer than before.
That's right. So with that, a bit of a mistake, I would say, on the side of Resurgence. To go for the greedy pickoff on the Bruiser camp, they sort of pay the price. And now we see the EXP gap. Resurgence is actually losing out in the EXP, and they're still going for the Siege Giants on Meowpork's side.
They're being very aggressive, rightfully so. They want to make sure to take a fight before level 20. Is being achieved on Team Meowpork. And here, they got a whole map unlocked. They're soaking a little bit, they're pushing, they're applying pressure where it hurts. Team Meowpork on the other hand, not really abusing the EXP on top lane. I'd like to see a better use of that.
So that's exactly what they were looking for. They were looking for a sort of a questionable play. They capitalized on that, and with that, they will be able to enhance their EXP gap. But nonetheless, Resurgence has caught up, and now it's 19 against 19. They are fiercely hitting on the gates of the bottom lane. They will be able to take down the towers there. They're opening the base up right now, Babel.
Yeah, lots of value from those Siege Giants, but it will not do much of an impact past the gates. That's because they have a Li Ming, and she's just so good at clearing those mercenaries. You realize that Meowpork actually stagnated quite a fair bit over the last minute because they were not on the top lane soaking while CW was there. And there is no global on the side of Resurgence, but at this point, with a new strike coming up, this could be anyone's game.
That's definitely a valid call-out, Babel. With the Haka, you will want to capitalize on the advantage you can be almost anywhere in the battlefield at once, and wow, that Force Wall was able to hold that shrine just a little bit longer. Will this be enough to capture the Dragon Knight? It will be enough to capture the Dragon Knight. So definitely a good play on the side of Tesla, keeping Meowpork away.
All right, that
he paid the price though.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessary for him to stay there for so long. He could have backed up a little bit earlier, maybe about 2 seconds earlier would have been a lot better. He used Dimensional Shift because he was rooted and they just gave chase. But here, level 20 on Team Meowpork, and for Resurgence, not even 20 yet. CW just applying pressure on the mid area, and Zul'jin top lane. This does not look like a coordinated effort, all because they lost the Tassadar.
Definitely Meowpork playing really, really well right now. And here we go, Yu Yang going straight onto Kurza right now. Will be supported by Julian. They're just going in. He's able to sustain himself, but without the amount of backup coming out on the side of Resurgence, he still won't be able to go in. Finally, the cavalry arrives in, and here comes basically the entire cavalry. Here we have Yu Yang coming straight into the bowling blast. And
the support goes down. Yu Yang still slamming away. Dastingo's already being popped. Pizza Xiao, a little bit of trouble there. We'll be okay. Magic Missiles does not connect. Zappy heals back up a little bit. Still 5 versus 3. Capricorn not joining the team just yet. They lose the fort. And it looks like Meowpork has got a lot of mercenaries on top pushing against the keep, but it should be okay.
It should be okay. They will be able to half back, but definitely a very powerful counter attack coming out on the side of Meowpork. They did lose the Dragon Knight, but they didn't lose any of their momentum. Almost going to catch CW, but he would dwarf toss it safely. So back on the point, they basically was able to stop the Dragon Knight push and go for counter attacks, pushing their level out even higher there.
Oswald splitting the team. Zappy takes a little bit of beating. The Twilight Dream, though, on Zappy, completely eliminating the need even for Tastingo. You can save it for your next spawn.
Wow. Once again, just doing such effective kickoffs on the side of Meowpork. And here comes the Disintegrate. We'll be able to take Tassadar down.
All right, so Tassadar is also gone. 21 against 20. Meowpork just going really deep now. And they may actually be able to win this game here.
That's right, knocking onto the keep, and he just comes right in. He's going for unstoppable, just basically got rooted by the entangling roots there. CW just trying to one-man hold everything. Here comes Yu Yang to try to stop everything in his tracks.
Okay, pops the Ardent Shield, takes down the Haka. Still there is the Ancestral. Yu Yang can still go ahead. The Whirlwind goes down, and a bit of a stun onto the background. Yu Yang's back to full HP. Not really a necessary Ancestral, but I feel like it was just like the confirmation for him to go forward. CW lands a good stun. Still not over yet. Julian with a bit of a heal. Would have been a little bit better if he went for the bite instead. But the Kurza are going to be fine. 3 men down on the side of Meowpork. And it does not look like it achieved anything. A lot of HP off the keep, but not down yet.
That's right. So quite an okay push on the side of Meowpork, but they did lose a lot of people. And this is probably the worst time to actually be losing people. With 3 heroes down, Resurgence will be able to take the shrines. They have someone in the middle. They will be able to take the Dragon Knight. This is going to be an incredible push coming out on the side of Resurgence.
Okay, he purposely did that. It's not like he misclicked or anything. He was waiting for Tassadar to reach the mid lane a little bit more. So the wait there was good. Now the thing is, the camps have also been activated. This is perfect push. It's a little bit greedy, but they've got 20 seconds before we see Malfurion again.
That's right. So basically, Resurgence in a very, very good position right now. They're going for the bottom lane. They're pushing straight in. They're trying to go for the keep. You have to go for the keep with the Dragon Knight right now. They're just going in. They got the drag. With the Force Wall, we'll be able to stop Zed's end here.
All right, he does have Barrow. He's going to be fine. Zappy doing a lot of work against Xcarrick. And you see the bottom keep already gone. Still knocking on the healing well. Going probably for a game here. The Kurza dropping a lot of HP. Gets charged all the way back home where he belongs. And now we still see the Twilight Dream coming from Meowpork. The Haka's already taken down. CW still knocking on the core. Respawns immediately as the Murden and the pressure still applies on the Li Ming. She's deleted. And there goes the Dastingo. Xcarrick goes down as well. The Kurza now in a little bit of trouble. They finally manages the full combo with the Ancestral on their Zul'jin.
Finally knocking onto the core. They will be able to take this game. Well done to Resurgence.
Game number 1. Closer than I would have liked it if I was on Resurgence side, but still they were able to close it out because the bottom lane push was a little bit of an overextension if you think about it, overstaying the bottom keep there. The biggest problem I feel from Team Meowpork was that they had some really good fights, but throughout the end they were not able to translate that into structural advantage. And dying there in the bottom area with 3 men down, I mean, you're just really underestimating the power of a Sonya. Sonya with Heart and Shield, very hard to take down. And they still have the Ancestral. I'm not sure if Meowpork was tracking the cooldown on that side, but it seemed like not a single Ancestral was really on point today, I feel, from Julian in this game. However, the last one, he manages it, complete heal. It's like you have a Zul'jin who has maximum attack speed. He gets still back up, 2 lives, it drops again. And that's just how good this combo can be.
That's right. I agree with you. I mean, if I was Resurgence, that wasn't a match that I would be really comfortable with. That win was not comfortable to me at all.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that I am roughly, in terms of skill level, I am roughly on point with Meowpork. I'm not saying who's a better team, but if I am Resurgence, that means that I'm facing a team where it's roughly the same skill level. It went back and forth in the entire game. So definitely you need a lot to basically buck up in the next game. It's not a convincing win for me, at least.
All right, so I'm told that the highlights are ready. We're going to review some of the key moments in the last game. And this is where you see, this is where you see that Zul'jin topped the Testingo. Julian just too slow. You cannot wait for it to finish before you pop the Ancestral. It's not a palm, right? And this, I don't know what they're doing here. They should have just backed. Yu Yang decided to pull back, but just too slow. She's 16. She's got that nerve to steal, but just not going to be easy against 5 men there.
That was the effective turning point for Meowpork. If Meowpork actually capitalized on that, they might have actually won the game there.
Capricorn with the false wall, man. You're going to have to respect that one there. He went back to tap. I don't know what. Did he tap? No, he did not tap. He went back, mounted, he came back in front again. So, and then you look at his dimensional shift, increased movement speed and all, and the perfect wall.
Wow.
2 back-to-back perfect walls. Man, Meowpork did not see this coming.
Right. I mean, the force wall definitely a force to be reckoned with.
I see what he did there.
But nonetheless, I was really surprised with the force wall pick against Destroy, but I'm thoroughly impressed with the Cassidy force wall. Hands off to you guys. That was really good.
Okay, Storm Fuel. And then it's 3 versus 5, by the way. 3 versus 5. The Haka drops there for no apparent reason, because you look at the mana on that Arthas, it's almost empty. And they got no answer for that Sonya at all. Li Ming is at half mana, but she does not have those rotations because she already used it on the keep. So perfect timing from RSG for that. And still Meowpork, man, just dropping. And this is where everything just went down south.
The final push and that crazy pushback.
Alright, so key moments there. Regardless of how it is, I feel that this series is a lot closer than what we saw earlier today. The perfect combo. That's how it should look like every single time. But we only saw it once today. Alright, so what I'm going to say here is that if I'm Resurgence, I am not comfortable with this. In the morning, it was really clearly one-sided, directional base gaming where you have like a strong objective compared against a team who probably end up wanting to take more fights than they should, having no answers. And here it's, again, too close.
That's right.
20 to 22. Sorry, 20 to 21. It's SHIRE. Maybe they're not really comfortable on this map, but that's fine. We are actually going back to Sky Temple for the next game here.
Well, Resurgence really loves Sky Temple.
They do. They pick Sky Temple every single time in this entire tournament. They have strategies. I think Artanis was one of them. Even against Conbox SEA, they had a Leoric, I think. Was it a Leoric? I need to check that.
I believe so, yeah.
No. It was the Dahaka, Malfurion, Tychus, Arthas. Yeah.
They did have an Artanis against Meowpork on the Sky Temple.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, they did. They ran an Artanis, and it was good with the Phase Prism going into play. So fantastic position from Zeppy as always. But here we are going into the second game, Sky Temple. It's gonna be close. Do you think that Meowpork has learned from the series earlier on?
I hope so. I mean, Meowpork going against Inquisition, thoroughly impressed with their strategies, their shot calling. They know how to capitalize on their advantage. So the advantage was given to them just now when Resurgence did a bit of an aggressive move and they made them pay the price. So now all they have to do is make sure that if the same thing happens again, they know how to capitalize on this kind of advantage. You wouldn't want to waste any good opportunities here on the side of Meowpork.
Yeah, and more importantly, I feel like maybe it's time to ban a Zeratul
Oh yeah.
on Sky Temple. It's possible. We've seen that being played by Conbox SEA. That draft looked pretty good for them. On the other side note, though, the last time they played on Sky Temple was the time where Meowpork went with that Gul'dan Tiger's comfort pick, but could not secure enough EXP because of the lack of global.
That's right. Well, okay, in case you're wondering, these teams actually faced off before. Resurgence and Meowpork, they went to Sky Temple. They went to Sky Temple and the Cursed Hollow. So
Yeah.
basically maps that Resurgence was pretty comfortable with. And they basically, it was pretty one-sided, like Babel mentioned. So now it's sort of a grudge match to show that I am still good enough to go against Combox C in the final. So this should be actually pretty interesting.
This is gonna be interesting because the games in which Resurgence played against Conbox SEA were not even close.
That's right.
So it just seemed like Resurgence is trying to figure out something through Meowpork, and this is fun to watch, man. So Sky Temple, we're going to Sky Temple here. It's a pretty big battleground. Zeratul's an option. We also have got Falstad as an option, Dahaka as an option. Regardless of who you think it is, I do believe Muradin's going to see some play here.
Yeah, Muradin is definitely going to be a good soak for the team, whichever it is going to. So to bring you a bit into the past draft, Resurgence against Meowpork. So basically, the first few drafts, pretty common there. So the first ban was actually Falstad on the side of Meowpork, and then Resurgence responds by taking out the Tacita. So we both actually thought that the Haka will be instantly picked up by Meowpork, but however, they actually went straight for the Gul'dan pick. So that's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's just because Gul'dan has been banned out, and again, you see here in game number 1, Gul'dan was banned out. In game 2, I do hope that they don't get so tunnel vision with the Gul'dan. But regardless what it is, I feel like Meowpork is ready.
That's right. Meowpork's definitely out for blood. I mean, after that fantastic performance against Inquisition, this is definitely a team to watch here.
Yep. Now what we're doing is we're actually waiting for the lobby to be made. And Teddy, tell me about your entire HGC experience thus far.
Wow, entire HGC experience. Wow, where to start?
Let's just start from last weekend where they were playing the group stage.
All right, so I think that was pretty interesting games. It was pretty unfortunate to me that most of them were 2-0. But it has no indication that they were one-sided at all. I mean, all the teams actually had played really well. I was personally rooting for Inquisition. I was very, very impressed.
Oh, we got an Inquisition fan here.
I was very impressed with
Said
their
ya.
first... Oh, said ya. That's right. So Jay Howe's a fan. I'm a fan too. And because of the play style that we saw on the first day, on the first weekend, we decided that they basically were very, very patient when it came to who was going for the team fight. If there's no need for the team fight, they didn't engage at all. So that was really impressive there. It's a bit too bad that they are already out of the race, but nonetheless, it was a good run.
Yep, they finished 4th place. And of course, Inquisition, they're the only team that popped out Lily.
That's right. They were experimenting with Lily. They were creating the Lily meta.
This goes to show, Teddy, that Lily is not OP. And she should not be picked.
You're just saying that so you can have first pick on Lily all the time.
No, I did that because of personal reasons. You shouldn't expose me like that. Anyway, what we're gonna do here is we have already consolidated some of the plays here, and I do believe that Meowpork RSG going into the next game, I would love to see a Gul'dan again, but I hope that they make it work. So the draft has started. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 2, Sky Temple. Here we go.
That's right. Well, Resurgence basically hold their fronts now against Meowpork again. Or will they actually, Meowpork can actually take this out of Resurgence for the first time since the second match. So, looking at the previous draft we were talking about actually, they banned the Tacita, they banned the Falstad, they banned Oriole because of the Gul'dan pick previously, and Meowpork responds by banning the Zeratul. Dahaka, Malfurion, Vala, ETC, Artanis, on the side of Resurgence, while Meowpork went for Gul'dan, Muradin, Tigers, Sonya, and Morales to sort of complement the Gul'dan pick. Question is, will they do the exact same thing here? That should be pretty interesting.
I think that more often than not, the benefit here for Meowpork is that they already saw how Conbox SEA played against Resurgence on Sky Temple. And that is a draft they can refer to. And it looks like banning a Zeratul was the option for that team. However, the question here is, can Meowpork execute just as well?
That's right. So would they do anything different? They actually go for the Zeratul.
So they're gonna copy the draft from Conbox. Hopefully they can pull it off. But the Zeratul ban, there's only one reason for that. It's just Zappy is such a good Zeratul player, and that has been addressed a couple of times already.
Well, with Zeratul ban, this is a good opportunity actually to go for the foul stat, seeing how much Zappy can actually keep any foul stat in track. But nonetheless, let's see what they pick for. Still taking the time, they go for the Dahaka instead of the foul stat. So going to go for the global lane presence here on the side of Meowpork.
Alright, Dahaka getting picked up with that Zeratul ban already. Dahaka is not a Conbox pick in the last series. So maybe they're still sticking with something closer to home, and I like the fact that they still have that option open for them.
Oh.
Muradin, okay.
So they do exactly go for the Muradin.
I like how this is going on here. With a Muradin priority and false stat. Okay.
So far, pretty solid drafts on both teams. Falstan and Dahaka, quite common picks, especially in the map, like Sky Temple.
Very common picks, nothing special. You just want Muradin there because he is a force to be reckoned with. The key thing about Muradin in this battleground is the fact that he can hold those temples quite long. I think that generally, this is where Meowpork asked themselves, do they want to go for a Tychus? Because Tychus shreds Muradin like how we chop vegetables.
That's right. We do it decisively and leaving no residue at all.
So good. Chinese chopping vegetables. Oh, why am I making a joke of my own race? All right, so Meowpork, the team, with 2 more picks here. I would personally go for the Tychus, but they're deciding whether it's the Tychus or the Gul'dan, and it is going to be Oriel Vala instead. I wanted to focus a little bit more on the Gul'dan Oriel, but they decided no, they don't want that. They want a Vala. That's perfectly fine. Do Not Vala is the other hero that can shred a Muradin pretty well.
That's right, and instantly Resurgence hovers over Gul'dan. Like we mentioned in the start of the game, Gul'dan a very important pick, especially to Meowpork. By banning the Gul'dan, basically you get rid of what could potentially be a crazy synergy with Gul'dan and Oriel on the side of Meowpork.
Exactly.
Well, Meowpork plays Oriel as Meowpork the player plays Oriel as well. So we've seen him play Oriel a few times in this mid-season brawl, and I guess he plays it pretty okay.
I feel that out of all the supports that Meowpork can play, Malfurion being the best, Medic probably being the second, third probably Lucio, then Oriel.
I see.
And then everything else below that.
Okay.
Yeah, it just does not hit me. It does not strike a chord within me if it's going to be an Oriel Meowpork. We have actually also seen that example just now in Inquisition's matchup, but it is an ETC ban, by the way.
Really interesting. I mean, like, I would actually imagine that they will go for Gul'dan. If Resurgence thinks the same as you, they would imagine that if they pick the support now, they would go for a Malfurion or a Lucio. But the fact that they pick Oriel, even I was thinking that Meowpork was actually going for the Gul'dan. The only explanation I can think of now is that they themselves are going to pick Gul'dan.
I think it's likely, but do know that there's already a mage on the team, and generally it's a bad thing to have more than one, because then you only have one type of damage coming out here, and Meowpork can easily pick up the Anubarak, and you're in a lot of trouble.
Unless, interestingly, they actually go for the Anub and Gul'dan on the side of Resurgence. That would be interesting to see as well.
That will be okay. That'll be okay. However, that means that they are left with a solo support. And here, I do believe Meowpork is considering to ban a Lucio. So,
yes.
oh no, Melf. Okay, all right. Of course, Malfurion. Staple Malfurion.
So by taking Malfurion off of Resurgence's hand, given that Meowpork has already secured a support on their side, it's going to make them think twice. Do I go for...
Grey
they actually go
main.
for Greymane.
Yep. Keeping it simple. Greymane.
We've seen a lot of Greymanes and an Arthas.
All right. Same priorities here. And on the side there for Team Meowpork, they got 2 more picks. They can do the Gul'dan now, but I don't think it's necessary. There's already a Vala.
That's right. And I'll actually focus more on a tank like Leoric. We see them play Leoric because there is Muradin and Arthas, or they might actually go for Tychus here.
Tychus is also an option. I think Tychus would do a little bit better, but do know that Falstad has got that Mighty Gust.
Fair enough.
Put the Tychus out of position. Greymane also can go in for instant burst. They have almost everything that they want on the side of Resurgence. For Meowpork, on the other hand, I do believe that they should be looking at another damage dealer, probably a frontliner, maybe a Sonya. I don't know if Team Meowpork can play 3 warriors. I've never seen them do this. But if they can, this is the time to show.
That's right. We're still looking for a warrior pick up on the side of Meowpork. Definitely not going to be a main tank on the side of the Haka. That's their offlaner. And oh, we do see a Tychus and a Varian. So Varian definitely should be going for the tank build.
Yeah, definitely Ton Varian.
Really interesting though. I mean, Tychus, yeah, I understand. You need them to shred through Muradin and Arthas if you are not going for the Leoric there. But Varian,
Okay, so with that said, Resurgence now, with this kind of a lineup, they got to decide who they want as their healer. Off the bat, I can tell you that Rhaegar is available. We've seen some Rhaegar play from Julian earlier, but there's also the Kharazim. Kharazim's pretty decent, not much of a burst on the side of Meowpork. Maybe just Tychus right-click. Vala with a bit of... I do think it depends on what build Vala goes for. If it's the Hungering Arrow build, then maybe... But still very difficult. Really difficult to play a Kharazim here. So knowing Resurgence, it probably is going to be Lucio.
Lucio. Alright, nice.
Yeah. Personally, nothing much to say there. Would have preferred to ban Lucio, but they feel that Malfurion is a bigger threat for Meowpork. So now that's said and done, what do you think of the draft?
I think Lucio is a fine support for starters, because Lucio's biggest weakness basically there is no cleanse, right?
Right.
But on the side of Meowpork, the only sort of CC that we have is the drag.
True.
Yeah, and it's sort of a charge on the side of Varian. But on the side of Resurgence, basically the amount of damage you can deal out it's pretty sky high if you ask me. You have Falstad and Greymane, Lucio for the offense and defensive speed boosts if you ever need it. On the side of Meowpork, it looks really like they're going sort of a pick-orientated build. I mean, you have Varian supported by Vala. It is basically how Meowpork can defend their backline.
How Meowpork can defend the backline. Exactly right. Here, I feel that there's Auriel.
That's
you have
right.
the Crystal Aegis, so it should work out pretty okay. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2, Resurgence versus Team Meowpork. On the red team, it's going to be Meowpork on that Tychus. ZSN playing the Haka. The Kurza on the Varian. Xcarik will be playing the Vala, and Meowpork on Auriel.
That's right. On the blue team, we have Resurgence there. Julian on the Lucio there. Capricorn on the Falstad. Zappy, I can't see, is on the Greymane. Yu Yang on the Muradin. Haven't missed out on CW. I can't see. On the Arthas,
yeah.
yes.
Okay, so what both teams, the strengths here really is the fact that you got global on both sides. They probably want to do the right thing and be on the top lane. Bottom lane for the start. And then we'll do a little bit of rotation midway through this. But it looks like already you can see Falstad going bottom. The Haka use the Brush Stalker is already there. Yu Yang top lane. A bit of a aggressive positioning from Muradin.
That's right. And on the talent side, we can see actually, like you mentioned, the Hammerang build coming out on the side of Falstad of Resurgence. And Greymane will actually be going not on the cocktail build, but sort of the frontliner Worgen build. So that should be pretty interesting to note as well.
Alright, ZSN bottom lane takes a bit of a beating against Capricorn. It should actually be a lane that Falstad should win. But we don't know if the execution is going to be up to par though.
That's right. And so far, like you mentioned, Falstad and the Haka at the bottom lane trying to soak. And here comes the rotation round. Yu Yang going for the flank. He's going for the Kurza. But wow, that Detainment Strike will be able to stop him. He has to do off toss. Get out of there, man.
It's a Muradin.
Yeah.
Even with Detainment Strike, it's not going to be easy to take him down. There is the Vala though, and the Vala going for the right-click build. So no Hungering Arrow here. Just full-on right-click damage on the Vala as well as Tychus.
That's right. And still can go for the multi-shot build if she still plans to deem fit on the side of Vala. But here comes the tempos. Dual tempos, top lane, middle lane. Let's see how they go for it. The Global still at the bottom lane, chilling, soaking EXP. You wouldn't want to go pull the trigger so fast yet. Blue team, Resurgence now in the middle shrine, while Meowpork is at the top shrine there, with Julian actually trying to contest a bit, going for Xcarrick, pushing him away, and here comes Zappy, very powerful, but still going away. The charge going on Julian there, almost, and he will be taken out right now. Zappy and really low, and finishing the job is Vala. Well done to Xcarrick, wow.
Alright, as a trade-off, they lose Tychus in the mid lane. And they will lose a little bit of EXP in the bottom as well. I think Arthas needs to rotate back down, or it's going to be a false stat. But regardless of what it is, Temples will trade sites, and it seems likely that Meowpork will take the top fort of Resurgence.
That's right. And interestingly enough, the Haka stays at the bottom lane, continuing to soak. Falstad have already joined back, but the EXP advantage is a bit obvious if you ask me. A bit of a spike between the level 5, but once Falstad went back to the bottom lane, even out a little bit. Really important to be able to soak the lanes there.
Alrighty, Kurza, nice sidestep. And it's still very even in terms of the level from both sides. Meowpork, though, gotta be a little bit careful. Xcarrick just completely empowered by the Oriole.
With the amount of hope they can have, he has so much hope here. Oh, literally. So with the hope, they can basically sustain the Vala as she does his damage. Rotating into the middle lane there. Going for the mercenaries is Meowpork there. Here comes Capricorn. A bit offensive play again. Once again at the siege camp, just harassing there with the hammerang.
Yeah. I think it's, they are not really vested in that. Top lane though, I think he's fine. Alright, so nearly going in. But 3 men against 4, not easy. Look at Zesn's HP, so low.
That's right. Oh wow, they're actually going for the offense here. Howling Blast to stop the day, to save the day rather, and they're still going in. The Curse are going straight for Capricorn right now.
Alright, again, should take this fight. The Siege Giants are doing a little bit of work, but nope, Stumble not going to connect. Nice vault there by Xcarrick. And it's back to business as usual. We have, in terms of structure, it's a little bit slightly favoring Team Meowpork because of the fact that they have the top fort all the way down in terms of HP.
That's right. So, and we see actually the Globals going to the top lane now, where everyone opens up the bottom lane for rotation. So pretty interesting, given that the Siege Giants are already at the bottom lane. They're going in, only just going in for the Siege Giants. No engagement there, playing it very safe. Good job on both teams. There is no need to force a team fight so early.
Yep, and Temple's gonna spawn real soon. So I think this is the time where they go for a potential Bruiser Cam, but just a little bit too slow.
Yeah, that would have been really good to actually go for the Bruiser Cam, but still nonetheless, rotating, they chose not to lose out in terms of the EXP. Here we come Variant, the Kurzao just waiting there very patiently. CW and Julian there also waiting in the bushes. He is actually caught out alone, would have been dangerous, but luckily for him, Resurgence doesn't commit to the fight.
Yeah, right here, if they are going to rotate down, I don't think it's the right call. What they should do is they should just abandon the bottom temple, go with the top lane, try and pick up the Falstad with a flank, that'll be good enough. Even if they are able to come to the bottom lane and temple in time, it's 4 versus 4, they got a mercenary on top. The pressure is going to be on the side against Resurgence.
That's right, and they're still skirmishing at the top lane, not committing into the fight. Takuza and Yu Yang just basically contesting on the shrine right now. Zesn coming in for Yu Yang, but Yu Yang will be able to dwarf toss to safety.
Okay, so they will secure a little bit of double objective here. The top fort, very low, but still not going down yet. If it does go down, it's going to give Meowpork a bit of an EXP boost. Maybe they'll be close to level 10. But Resurgence, knowing that Falstad will not come down, opting for the split soak instead, decides to go back to the mid lane. Does not find a kill there.
It's definitely a good shot call on the side of Resurgence. You're so close to level 10, you just continue soaking. You take the fight only at level 10. Pizza Xiao almost got caught out there. That's really dangerous. Nowhere in this map is safe.
Yeah. So you're right. Nowhere is safe. Gotta make sure that the Tychus plays a little bit safer. It's a very short range on the AA of a Tychus, but I think that he should be able to be in a safe area. As long as he's around Oriole, I think that's okay.
Alright. They are going into the middle lane, rotating down. It's just a game of rotations there, but Yu Yang just goes straight by the Detainment Strike. Will be to push him in. The Howling Blast comes and connects.
Alright, now level 10 hit. Here we have also the Sound Barrier and the Mighty Gus is carrying, now dropping very low. They just hit level 10 after they lost Meowpork. The Oriole there. Now it looks like Variant's gonna go down as well. The Kurza is gone. So 3 men down on the side of Team Meowpork. Pizza Xiao is gonna harf back home here.
Well done on the engagement on the side of Resurgence there. Oh, and they are just riding on the momentum, going straight for the boss. Okay, fine. Pretty good okay move, seeing that most of the teammates are not there yet. So they will be able to capture the boss here. Let's see how much damage this boss can do.
I feel like this is the right call because respawn timer and all factor into consideration. They will not be able to contest this. But do note that they have to be very careful because this means that the Haka will get the top fort. They're going to give it up. That's all right. They take a little bit of extra help here in the form of a Siege Giant. And the ZSN is still not able to take the top fort just yet. But will do so in due time.
That's right. So very favorable trade on the side of Resurgence. Now knocking onto the bottom fort. The temples have spawned. So that means that they can actually continue pushing. They will be able to capture the fort. Boom. Got the fort. And now they can go to the temple to continue capturing it. Interesting enough though, Greymane is not joining in the team fight. So if Meowpork actually catch wind of this, they can actually dive in to take anyone out there.
Yeah, but as a boss on your keep, you don't want to do that when stuff like this happens.
Fair enough.
The good thing here is that there is a temple in the mid and bottom lane. Because of the boss being at the bottom site, Resurgence opens up the map for themselves to have both temples and a ton onto Arthur's. Not so good. Maybe we're going to see a Falstad save here. Yeah, he's in position for a Gus, but he gives up the bottom temple. Meowpork now wants a fight. Nice detainment strike though.
Is that a Gus coming out? But no, not yet. The Odin is coming out. He's still waiting for it right now. Still choosing the time to go for the Gus. Pizza, Xiao, and the Odin zoning out for the entire team, while Meowpork captures the middle temple. Meanwhile, at the bottom temple is still sort of uncontested. So yes, they will be rotating down into the bottom temple. Falstad taking bottom temple, while they give the middle one to Meowpork.
Okay, it looks like there was a couple of options. Resurgence decided to play a little bit safer, going for a temple trade. They already have got a lot of value out of this trade here because of the boss and the prior pushes before that. But if you think about it, they are now 13. There's going to be a bit of a downtime. If they don't force a fight here, Meowpork's probably going to soak and try and even the gap. There's no mercenaries available because they've taken every single thing, painted the map blue. So here, Resurgence, they really want to look for a fight, but they don't have the 5-man.
They're still split up, trying to soak the lane. So they chose a route that actually needs...
Oh,
wow. Actually just going in and will be able to catch ZSN there, but they didn't commit to the fight. They are retreating back.
Yeah, I think they don't have Arthur's in position. Arthur's was slightly behind, you could see. And the rotation still, it's going to get called off. Now this scares Team Meowpork because they don't know whether they should take this bruiser camp or not. You see a lot of retreat pings down there. Resurgence invading the camp.
Oh, but they are decisive. Look at the difference in decision making. They are just decisively taking the bruiser camp. And Meowpork's just standing there to watch.
Huge respect for Meowpork for not going for that. But oh, Zest and now gets stunned, gets bursted. The Barrow isn't in fact. And here comes Crystal Aegis.
Crystal Aegis is coming down. We'll be able to say, oh, but still will be taken down. But here comes the mighty guys to push everybody away. We're not gonna fight today. Maybe some other time.
This is like value, right? Wow, 3-man route. Great job there. But regardless, it's value. You pick up one target, and the moment you feel like someone's gonna die, you just gust. You get a little bit of EXP lead here. I feel like they could have taken a fight a little bit more, but those front structures are still up. Lots of ammo on them. Minions are not really pushed out. And low HP, a lot of reasons for them to not take that fight.
Yep, for sure you wouldn't want to be too greedy, seeing that they are a bit of an advantage. But hold that thought now, the guns are going straight for CW. They are actually 3v4. Bad situation here. ZSN comes in to try to help out now. CW in a really bad spot. Army of Ghouls blocking the way. But actually, Meowpork is going on a retreat now. They don't want to take this fight at all. They're just also fighting the siege camp. Were we able to take it out now? Take it, yeah.
Okay, CW popped Army of the Dead. Did not engage. He was expecting Meowpork to dive onto him. But they are... When they decide to pull back, it just means that it's going to be wasted. Missing the Howling Blast and the taunt coming in. A bit of a damage already on the front line. CW dropping a little bit low. Meowpork now behind. Looking for the detainment. Does not let it. And we still have Zappy on top. Just pulling back. A pause coming in. Possible disconnection there by Capricorn. There we go.
Well, that was pretty intense team fight, if you ask me. The Howling Blast, on point. Probably better than what I can ever do.
No. I feel that the Howling Blast, some of it was good, but he hasn't completed a quest yet. No, he is still a little bit off. One off, I think. One more Howling Blast before it is going to connect on whoever's in between the cast point and Arthur's himself. But here in this game, it's very clear that you could see the strategy on the side of Meowpork again lacking a little bit. They were thinking of fighting the Arthurs. He popped Army of the Dead. They pull back. They pick up the camp. I like that part. But after that, what do? They were trying to pick up a fight again in the background. Could not find it. I feel like you should actually still go back on the Arthurs. It took a little bit of a detour. There was a lot of space for you to do that, but they didn't follow up on that. Arthurs had his Army of the Dead completely wasted. That means he's not going to be able to sustain as well in fights, relying only on the Lucio to heal him up, and maybe his occasional Immortal Coil.
Interesting. So basically, it was sort of a, you can call it a decision-making mistake, I guess. Okay, I agree with you that taking the siege camp was a really interesting, can add the firepower should Resurgence actually come back for the counter-attack.
Yeah.
And you can see that they knew it. They respected that the siege giants were there. They pulled back. They didn't commit into a fight, which I think we can safely say that would probably be what they did, seeing how aggressive that they have been. But nonetheless, took the safe route. They went back. So, okay, you're absolutely right. They can actually go back in on the Arthurs. So, but nonetheless, I guess it is the safe route to actually go for. You wouldn't want to lose anything, especially given at this point where still anything goes. There's still no clear winner at this outcome, at this juncture.
No clear winner at this point, but Resurgence clearly in the lead. About half a level lead away. Still able for Team Meowpork to catch up. I just feel like they really need a plan going into this fight. They have got a lot of right-click damage. In fact, even Vala going for a bit of a multi-shot there as an option, to me, is a little bit questionable because you got Lucio against Vala. Lucio is an AoE sustained healer. I would have preferred it if it's just an Hungering Arrow build. I think I like that a lot. Right-click build, it's okay for me. This build is fine, but it doesn't do what I think should have been done against single targets. And do note that Greymane also did not go for the full-on cocktail build. He went for the Worgen build instead, which means that he's going to be diving in a lot, and this is fully supported by the Arthurs and Murden. So both on those counts, it seems like it is a pretty decent lineup here for Resurgence.
That's right. I absolutely love the draft. I love the talents that are coming out. Multi-shot build, as you mentioned, on Vala. And of course, the Greymane going sort of a front line, seeing that they want, like we mentioned from the start, basically to win, you have to take the backline out. Vala and Tigers definitely sort of squishy targets, and if they're taken out, their main damage of Meowpork is gone. There's no way for them to deal damage. I mean, you have Varian, but he's going for the tank. So that's why that we see Greymane actually going in for the Worgen form. They want to take him out as fast and as efficiently as possible. So that explains the Worgen form a bit. Muradin, and of course the Faustat going for the mage build, complement the Greymane, sort of going for the ability powers to try to sort of have a two-dimensional threat there on Meowpork.
Yeah. So
a lot of things that I like about this draft.
Okay, so I'm told that the games are now ready, and we're going back into game number 2 between Resurgence and Team Meowpork.
That's right. This could potentially be the final game for Resurgence. Potentially. After all, it's 1-0 best out of 3 series. Here we go. So far, the temples have been spawned on the top and middle lane. We'll be capturing the middle one is Meowpork, and while Resurgence actually rotates to the top one, but they're just remaining Greymane there. It's an okay position. After all, Greymane has a lot of PvE damage here.
Yeah, well, they're also sending Falstad to soak the lane just so they get 16 before they contest the mid temple. I think this is a good decision. However, they're going to make sure that that the rotation from Greymane is on point, because Greymane is the main reason why they can do that damage. Hold that thought. Zazen from the back, CW. A little bit cut off there from the rest because of the Dahaka. And the amount of damage of Muradin, did you see that?
Wow. And he's just shrugging it off right now like a Muradin. And, okay, my heart stopped for a moment there when I saw Zsn going in for the flank. That would have been deciding, because basically everyone is on the top lane. He had no Greymane damage there. And then that would have been quite devastating for Resurgence. Luckily, they managed to dodge the drag.
Okay, so Capricorn with the flight now. He goes in, looking for the gas. He gassed away the Tigers, and he bursts the front line. Not sure how effective that's going to be. Yu Yang now goes in for the Thunderclap, but no stun on the Dove Toss. Varian dropping very, very low. Yu Yang just bullying the back line. Zappy goes in to try and pick up a target. Vala's already gone as well. And you have Zessen in the back line. The Haka going down. 5 men on RSG still alive. And Team Meowpork is left with that Tychus and Oriel.
That's right. So that's exactly what Resurgence need to do. Take out the Vala, there goes the damage dealer. And basically, the backline was just getting bullied. Tychus was basically on the retreat. And because of that, there was nothing to actually stop Varian.
All right, fantastic Howling Blast.
Well, it is.
It is exactly what you expect of a pro player. Because if you're able to get that kill, 30 seconds, this could be game ending, but knowing RSG, they're going to pull back again.
They wouldn't want to commit. We've seen them play all these games. They don't want to commit into game-ending moments.
This
just
is fine. This is fine, but they should go for boss here because there is no Tychus. There is no adaptation for 30 seconds. I'm not sure if they tried to cool down to the level, but Vala just respawned. So Vala's going to come down to this area. Team Meowpork knows exactly that there is a boss attempt. There's Mighty Gust though, so they have a lot of utility to stop this here. So the boss call is perfect on point. Temple spawning here. They might want to consider sending someone top, but I wouldn't consider that because there is no more keep in the bottom lane. This is a win condition. Just push and finish the game.
This was exactly what we saw in Inquisition. Do they go for the boss or do they go for the temples here? So in this case, looks like the entire team will be pushing for the boss. Oh wow, but they won't be able to catch the Cursor out of position that he has to retreat right now.
Oh.
But wow!
Falstad going down there. Nice turn of vengeance though. It's all because of the Haka coming in from the side there. Salbear going down here. Zessen still popping the adaptation and they're still wanting to push forward with this fight. The stun going onto the backline. Combo with the boss. Howling Blast not connecting on Vala, but Pizza Xiao just stranding away the warriors in front. Still standing. Yu Yang popping that avatar, landing a stun onto the Haka. Zessen dropping very low. There goes the Crystal Age. Zappy comes in, finishes off the Oriel, and you still see the barrow from Zessen. It's not going to be enough. He goes down. The boss is on the core, and the team is still taking the fight. Pizza Xiao will go down. The Curza looks like he is able to run away for a bit, but nope, it will not be enough. It's only a solo Vala. Can the Vala save the day? I don't think so.
I don't think so indeed. And here they come. It's just basically just multi-shotting everything. Call is going really, really low though. This could be game-changing right now. You wouldn't want... Are you going to defend right now? He just goes into Gerda, just desperately. Panic button has been activated, but unfortunately Vala was taken down 4%, 3%. And here we go. The second game here goes to Resurgence. Resurgence will be moving on into the next round.
Alright, so Resurgence in the second game a little bit more convincing than the first.
For sure.
First game was too close.